Hi, I'm Spencer Dorsey, and we're here today at the heart of Montreal on Concordia campus at the People's Potato. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Isa. My name's Danny.
You're up.
My name's Alen. I'm Asad. Hi, I'm Denite. My name's Juliana Smith.
So, what's your experience at the People's Potato?
Really good food. It's free, and you always make friends in the line. So I love the People's Potato. I eat here like 2 to 4 times a week, pretty much as often as I can. It's like one of the biggest reasons that I enjoy student life here. It's just like eating together and sharing food, I think, is so special. Yeah, and I'm super broke like most Concordia students. So
honestly, I'm so grateful for it. The staff is always nice. The food is tasty. It's like I talk to other friends that are in other universities and they don't have this type of support community. And I think it's something really important for Concordia students, mostly that are activists and queer, to like have the same space and share like tasty food. Yeah.
When I started university, I had like a sudden drop in funding, so I had no money to buy groceries. And so going to the People's Potato really supplemented my cost of living. It made it much more affordable to live in Montreal.
And what's your experience here at the People's Potato?
So lovely. It's a great way to save money and really like good hearty food.
Yeah, I love People's Potato. I started Concordia in 2022, and when I found out that free lunches were an option, I was so happy. And I've been going to People's Potato for 2 years, and I'm also like really happy that the food is vegan. So even if you aren't vegan, like it's open to anybody for food restrictions.
I have been eating since the last year, so my experiences were really positive. Especially, it helped me reduce a lot of cost on groceries, everything.
What's your experience in Montreal with finding affordable food?
Oh, it's pretty hard.
My experience has, because I'm a student who looks alone, who has faced food insecurity before. Yeah, like I can't shop at IGA or any of those like big chain grocery stores. I do find that Segal's is helpful, strictly for produce. So I live very far from Segal's, but I will go the trek to get affordable food.
So what's your experience and what you viewed with food insecurity among students and just generally around Montreal?
I think it's pretty clear that the situation around food insecurity has gotten significantly worse ever since the COVID-19 pandemic and has only continued to exacerbate with the cost of living crisis that we're seeing right now. I know on campus, for example, I run the CSU's Community Cravings Pantry, which is a community fridge and pantry that's open not just to students, but community members as well. Like anyone can access the pantry. And we've seen a sharp uptick in how much this service is being used. Students are really struggling to be able to find access to not just like any sort of food, but also like nourishing and nutrient dense foods as well. Like it's really hard when you're a student to be able to like cook something and find something that's gonna actually sustain you and keep you going throughout the day. So I think it's really important to have like more initiatives that are helping to support access to these kind of resources.
What are like cheap places around Montreal that you like to go to save so you're not too much in that insecurity?
Yeah, so Walmart, Maxi, Super C. So what I do is I go every now and then, like maybe randomly I'll go to one of the days I'll go to the Super C or Walmart or Maxi and just check what are the local offers. Once I get, I usually grab something which I cannot miss at any cost. I'll pick that product and take it home as a grocery. Other thing that I do is I have an app called Too Good To Go. So in that way I try to see whatever food is remaining at the end of the day, I can usually buy it and maybe survive for another 1 or 2 days. So in that case I just pay maybe like $5, $6, $7, and in that way I save again. And at the same time there's one more trick that I do. So if I go to various temples, so one of the temples that I visit on Sunday, they provide us free dinner. So that way I know, okay, Sunday dinner is sorted. I have to survive for the rest of the week. Monday to Thursday is done by People's Potato. That's one part of the problem. So I usually take the problem as an entire week. So in a week, lunch is sorted, dinner is sorted. So what I have to cook basically Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That way I rotate my entire food. Sometimes I go to Loyola as well to have lunch and dinner, lunch and breakfast. So in that way I try to minimize the grocery cost.
And yeah, I feel like, especially with the temple, that's why it's so good to have community spaces.
Yes.
That like
You get that
give you the free food.
as a belonging. Yes.
Food is really expensive. I think everyone knows this. And so it's really hard. I think a lot of us resort to things like, community organizations and groups that are providing like food banks or free food. There's also like the little pantry here and the fridge that we can go to, dumpster diving.
Oh yeah, do you have any hot takes about Montreal?
Okay, the Loyola campus. There's no good food on Loyola campus, and it's really expensive. And I work at a cafe on Loyola campus, but it's like that's kind of the only option, and it closes pretty early. So if you're there like late, hungry, like it's kind of a desert.
I agree. I love Loyola campus. Although I find the food in that part of Montreal so expensive. So like all you have is Loyola campus.
Yeah, I'm a communications girly, so I was at Loyola for a while, and it's pretty down bad out there if you're hungry.
I used to work and live there.
Me and my twin.
I just found this, it's like kind of like a dep grocery store type vibe in the Gay Village. That's really nice. It's next to the Super C. I've been going there, which is really good.
Do you have any thoughts on food banks in Montreal?
Thoughts? I haven't visited, but I know the politics around it and specifically how the government is trying to leverage the use of food banks against immigrants. In their eyes, they think food banks should serve Canadians first, and immigrants, specifically immigrant students, are being barred from accessing food banks because they don't have the right ID. So that's obviously another tool of politicization of food. And as we know, immigrants have higher rates of poverty. So it seems really counterproductive to bar them from a place that is supposed to aid poor people.
True. I think recently they're trying to shut a few down because there's been also complaints from landlords of lines being too long. So
What, like loitering or something? Okay. Yeah, fantastic.
yeah. And what do you think about like the importance of having just like a community space like this where people can get their food for free? Not even just students, just in general.
Yeah, I think food brings people together in a lot of different ways. I think it's an important aspect of community care. I feel like we're in a political climate where we're fighting a lot of fights on a lot of different subjects. And so it's important to have kind of these radical community-based organizations that are also bringing people together in like a holistic way and, making sure that we're nourished to keep fighting the good fight.
Do you find, at least like here, the uptick in like police presence on campus has affected these community spaces?
I think for sure, like we're suffering from a crisis of a lack of third spaces, whether it be around food or, just in general for people to be able to gather and be in community together. And I think the way that we've seen repression happening on campus, but also more broadly in the city against political organizing, people are suffering to be able to find these spaces to congregate and to come together, be in community, whether it be political or not. It's really hard to find that. And, we're seeing that, the spaces that people would historically kind of congregate in, like parks and stuff like that, are being policed at an increasing rate. Part of the cost of living crisis is also the increase in the amount of people that are experiencing houselessness. This is a really big issue. And, the way that the city and the government is responding is not by creating more resources and more affordable housing and more affordable food, but by policing people and further cracking down and policing the people who are suffering from the issues rather than fixing the core issue itself.
Well, that's all we have to say today. Thank you so much. Happy to have you here.
Okay, bye.
Today we learned about government is trying to shut down immigrants at food banks as well as, I forget. What was it again? And that you might know someone that dumpster dives, that goes to the food banks, or might come here at the People's Potato. Bye.